We stand at the precipice of a profound inquiry, a journey into the very architecture of our being. The title whispers of shadows, of Nietzsche, and of an unshakable inner strength. But what is this shadow we speak of? It is not a void, nor a specter of fear to be banished. Rather, it is the unseen architect of our reality, the repository of those profound, often uncomfortable truths that lie just beneath the veneer of our accepted world. These are the truths that conventional wisdom often shies away from, the aspects of existence that challenge our comfort and demand a deeper reckoning. To truly master ourselves, to forge an inner citadel that remains impervious to the storms of life, we must first acknowledge and engage with this shadow. Carl Jung, that great cartographer of the human psyche, spoke of the shadow self. He understood it not as a separate entity to be conquered, but as an integral, though often unacknowledged, part of our totality. It is the repository of our repressed desires, our unexpressed emotions, our hidden potentials, and yes, even our deepest fears. To achieve genuine wholeness, to stand as a complete and integrated being, we must engage in the arduous yet vital process of integrating these hidden aspects. It is in this very act of confrontation, of bringing the hidden into the light of conscious awareness, that true strength is born. The philosophy of Nietzsche, in its raw, unflinching exploration of human nature, offers us a potent lens through which to undertake this essential work. It is a philosophy that does not shy away from suffering, from the abyss, or from the often brutal realities of power and existence. This video is a promise to delve into 5 guiding principles, 5 laws, if you will, drawing from the deep well of Nietzsche's thought. These are not rigid dictates to be followed blindly, but rather profound insights, beacons in the often murky landscape of self-discovery. They are designed to illuminate the path toward a self-mastery that is not brittle but resilient, not a facade but a deeply rooted strength that remains unshaken by the winds of external validation or the insidious currents of manipulation. We will explore how to build an inner core that is truly your own, an unshakable foundation that allows you to navigate the complexities of life with clarity and authenticity. Prepare yourself for a journey into the depths. This is not a superficial exploration, nor a gentle pat on the back. It is an invitation to rigorous self-examination, to challenging the very notions of strength and power that society has often imposed upon us. We will move beyond the easy answers, beyond the shallow pronouncements of conventional self-help. This is a path that demands courage, a willingness to confront the difficult, the uncomfortable, and the unknown within ourselves. Yet it is a path that leads not to despair, but to a profound and liberating self-awareness. It is the path to forging an inner strength that is not merely felt, but lived, an unshakable core that defines who you are, independent of the fleeting opinions of the world. Are you ready to step into Nietzsche's shadow and discover the architect of your true strength? Law 1. The will to power as self-authorship, not domination. We begin our descent into the heart of self-mastery, and the first fundamental law emerges from the very concept that is most often misunderstood, the will to power. Forget the simplistic, often vulgar interpretations that equate this profound idea with crude domination or the subjugation of others. True strength, the unshakable inner core we seek, lies not in extending our will outward to control the external world, but in the far more challenging, far more rewarding endeavor of mastering ourselves. This is the bedrock upon which authentic power is built. Friedrich Nietzsche himself offered a clarifying insight. What is the will to power? It is the striving to become master of oneself and of external circumstances. Consider this carefully. The striving is twofold, yes, but notice the order. First, mastery of oneself. Only then the navigation of external circumstances becomes an act of self-determination, not a desperate struggle for external control. Genuine power, therefore, is not about bending others to your will, but about forging your own will into a tool of of profound autonomy and self-direction. It is about becoming the author of your own life, the sovereign of your own inner kingdom. This stands in stark contrast to the pervasive narratives that often govern our lives, narratives that subtly promote a form of master-slave morality. We are subtly taught to seek power through external validation, through the approval of others, through the accumulation of status or possessions. When our sense of worth and power is derived from these external sources, we become slaves to them. This external dependency leads to internal fragmentation, a fractured self that is constantly seeking affirmation from without, never truly finding solid ground within. The will to power, in its authentic Nietzschean sense, is about the opposite. It is about upperwinding self-overcoming, the continuous process of transcending our limitations and shaping ourselves into something greater. To begin this reclamation, we must engage in a deliberate act of introspection. Ask yourself, what are the internal masters that dictate your actions, your thoughts, your very sense of self? Are they the echoes of societal expectations, the ingrained beliefs passed down through generations, or perhaps the lingering resentments that have taken root within your psyche? Identifying these influences is the crucial first step. It is in recognizing these external or internalized authorities that we can begin the slow, deliberate process of reclaiming authorship over our own lives. The weight we carry is often not the burden of external circumstances, but the profound internal resistance to becoming the architect of our own destiny. The first law, therefore, is to turn the gaze inward. It is to command yourself, to direct your own energies, and to forge your unshakable strength, not from the subjugation of others, but from the sovereign command of your own being. This internal dominion is the true source of power. Law 2. Amor Fati. Embracing the necessity of your personal struggle. Consider this. What if the very challenges that seem to tear at the fabric of your being, the personal struggles that leave you feeling fractured and vulnerable, are not mere obstacles to be endured or vanquished? What if they are, in fact, the essential raw material, the very crucible from which your unshakable strength is meticulously forged? This is the profound invitation of the second law, rooted in the concept of Amor Fati. Nietzsche articulated this idea with breathtaking clarity. My formula for greatness in a human being is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity, not merely bear what is necessary, still less conceal it. All idealism is mendaciousness in the face of what is necessary, but love it. This is not a passive resignation, a stoic acceptance of fate. It is an active, passionate affirmation of your entire life, every joy, every sorrow, every triumph, and every crushing defeat. It is to love not just the sunny days, but the storms that water the roots of your being. It is to embrace the necessity of your unique path with all its inherent difficulties. Psychologically, this embrace of Amor Fati is the very antithesis of internal fragmentation. When we resist our suffering, when we rail against the perceived injustices of our lives, we create a deep chasm within ourselves. This resistance is a constant drain on our energy, a source of perpetual internal conflict that weakens our resolve and erodes our sense of self-mastery. True resilience, that unshakable inner strength, is not about avoiding pain, but about integrating it. It is about recognizing that the very experiences we might wish to erase are the ones that have shaped our character, honed our discernment, and deepened our understanding of ourselves and the world. To begin to embody this law, turn your mind to a moment of significant hardship in your past. Do not dwell on the anger, the regret, or the sense of loss. Instead, with a spirit of honest inquiry, seek the necessity within that experience. What lessons did it impart? What hidden strengths did it reveal that lay dormant before? How did it, in ways you may not have understood at the time, contribute to the person you are today? Reframe that event not merely as a wound that festered, but as a forge that tempered your spirit. This reframing is not an act of self-deception, but a profound act of self-authorship, turning pain into a source of potent wisdom. Nietzsche's shadow reminds us that the absence of struggle is not the hallmark of strength. Rather, true strength lies in the profound, unwavering affirmation of the very struggles that have shaped us, that have carved us, that have made us who we are. This is the second law, the imperative to love your fate, to embrace the totality of your existence, and in doing so, to discover an unshakable core that transcends mere endurance. Law 3, Perspectivism, the power in owning your interpretation. We now confront a fundamental question about the nature of reality itself, and more importantly, your place within it. Are you merely a passive observer, a prisoner, bound by the chains of a single, supposedly objective reality? Or do you possess the latent power, the inherent capacity to interpret your world, to actively shape the meaning you derive from it? This is the essence of the third law, the principle of perspectivism. Nietzsche famously declared, "There are no facts, only interpretations." This statement, often misconstrued as a descent into nihilistic relativism, is in fact a profound revelation. It is not an assertion that truth does not exist, but a powerful recognition that our access to truth is always mediated through our own unique lens. We do not passively receive reality, we actively construct it through the interpretations we choose to adopt. Understanding this is not a cause for despair, but a wellspring of liberation. It grants us the understanding that our perception of the world, and therefore our experience of it, is not fixed, but fluid, open to our conscious direction. Consider how often we fall captive to dominant interpretations, particularly those imposed by societal narratives or manipulative forces. When we unconsciously adhere to the herd mentality, accepting one singular viewpoint as the absolute, unassailable truth, we surrender our intellectual independence. This intellectual dependency breeds internal division, creating a self that is out of sync with its own authentic perception. It leaves us susceptible to external influence, unable to discern truth from manipulation because we have forgotten the fundamental power of our own interpretive faculty. To cultivate this law, engage in an exercise of perspective shifting. Take a situation in your life where conflict or disagreement has arisen. Consider this situation from at least 3 distinct vantage points. First, from your own deeply held perspective. Then, try to inhabit the viewpoint of another involved party, even if you perceive them as an antagonist. Finally, imagine the perspective of a neutral, detached observer. This deliberate act of stepping outside your own ingrained viewpoint cultivates critical discernment, sharpens your intellect, and expands your capacity for understanding. It is a vital step toward intellectual independence. Nietzsche's shadow whispers a crucial truth. Unshakable inner strength is not built on a foundation of rigid dogma or unquestioned assumptions. It is built on the firm ground of conscious interpretation. The third law, therefore, is to actively master your perspectives. By understanding that you are the interpreter of your reality, you begin to master your perception of it, and in doing so, you lay the groundwork for a truly unshakable inner self. Law 4. The Overman, Bermensch, as the ideal of self-integration. We continue our ascent, and the fourth law beckons us toward a transformative ideal. The question before us is profound. What if the ultimate aspiration of self-mastery is not the pursuit of some unattainable, static perfection? What if, instead, it is the cultivation of a dynamic, integrated self, a self capable of embracing its own inherent contradictions, its own complex tapestry of instincts and aspirations? This is the vision of the Bermensch, the Overman. Nietzsche painted a striking image, an asterisk. Thus spoke Zarathustra, asterisk. Man is a rope tied between beast and Overman, a rope over an abyss. This is not a call for a literal, physically superior being, but a potent metaphor for the human condition. We are suspended between our primal primal, instinctual nature, the beast, and our potential for self-transcendence. For embodying higher values, the overman, the rope itself, represents the precarious but vital path of life, stretched over the abyss of meaninglessness or fragmentation. True self-mastery, as envisioned by the overman ideal, lies in navigating this rope with courage and integrity, integrating both ends of our being. Internal fragmentation, that pervasive sense of being at war with oneself, arises precisely from the denial of one or both ends of this spectrum. When we suppress our instincts, our primal desires, our very shadow self, we deny a fundamental part of our humanity, leaving us brittle and incomplete. Conversely, when we ignore our capacity for growth, for self-overcoming, for aspiring to higher ideals, we stagnate, failing to realize the potential that lies within us. This echoes Carl Jung's concept of individuation, the lifelong process of becoming a psychologically integrated whole, where all aspects of the self, the conscious and the unconscious, the light and the shadow, are brought into harmonious relationship. To embody this law, we must undertake an exercise of shadow integration. Identify a trait within yourself that you typically disown, a characteristic you judge harshly or wish to hide. Perhaps it is a perceived selfishness, an unacknowledged ambition, or a tendency toward anger. Now, explore the potential positive expression of this trait. How can this seemingly negative quality, when understood and channeled constructively, become a source of strength rather than a point of internal division? Can ambition fuel purposeful action? Can a healthy dose of self-interest protect your boundaries? Can anger, when understood, signal a violation that needs addressing? By bringing these disowned aspects into conscious awareness and seeking their constructive channel, we build a more robust, unified, and resilient self. Nietzsche's shadow, in its profound wisdom, illuminates the path to the Bermensch not through external accolades or the accumulation of power over others, but through the courageous, often arduous, act of becoming psychologically whole. The fourth law, therefore, is to integrate your depths. It is to stand firm over the abyss, not by denying the chasm below, but by building a strong, integrated self that can bridge both the primal and the transcendent aspects of your being. Law 5, the revaluation of values, forging your own ethical compass. We arrive at the culmination of our exploration, the fifth and final law, which addresses the very bedrock of our actions and beliefs, our values. The journey through Nietzsche's shadow leads us to a provocative assertion: your current moral compass, the very framework that guides your decisions, might not be a tool of liberation, but a subtle instrument of manipulation. Are you truly living by truths you have forged yourself, or are you merely adhering to rules inherited from a collective past? Nietzsche's approach was to confront these inherited moralities directly. He proposed, "My method is to give prominence to the moral valuations themselves, to make them distrustful and even contemptible, that they may be placed in the balance." This is not a call to amorality, but an urgent imperative to critically examine the origins and the actual utility of the values we hold dear. It is an invitation to place them on the scales, to weigh their true worth in the context of our own journey toward self-mastery and authentic strength. From a philosophical and psychological standpoint, this examination is crucial. We must understand the dynamics of master-slave morality. Often, what society designates as good or virtuous can, in its origin, serve the interests of the weak, fostering resentment and ultimately suppressing the authentic power and vitality of the individual. Internalizing these manipulative societal narratives, which are frequently disguised as ethical imperatives, leads to a profound disconnect between our outward actions and our inner truth. This disconnect is a primary source of internal fragmentation, undermining the very unshakable strength we seek. To begin this vital revaluation, conduct a value audit. Take stock of your core values. For each one, ask yourself probing questions. Who truly benefits from this value? Is it primarily serving an external authority, a societal norm, or my own authentic growth? Did I consciously choose this value, or was it simply imposed upon me by my upbringing, my culture, or the prevailing winds of opinion? And most importantly, how does this value serve my quest for genuine self-mastery and my aspiration to forge unshakable inner strength? This rigorous process fosters intellectual independence and cultivates a profound ethical discernment. The final shadow of Nietzsche reveals a profound truth. Unshakable inner strength is not built upon borrowed morality, upon values that have been passively absorbed. It is forged through the arduous, yet ultimately liberating process of creating a deeply examined, self-authored ethical framework. The fifth law, therefore, is to revalue your values. By becoming the conscious legislator of your own moral universe, you solidify the foundation of your self-mastery, ensuring that your strength is not a fragile edifice built on sand, but an unshakable fortress of your own creation. Beyond the shadow, the architect of your unshakable self, we have journeyed through the profound landscape of Nietzsche's shadow, not to be consumed by darkness, but to uncover the very essence of unshakable inner strength. We have explored 5 fundamental laws, not as rigid doctrines, but as guiding principles for the arduous, yet ultimately liberating path of self-mastery. We began with the recognition that true power lies in self-authorship, turning the will to power inward to command ourselves. Then we embraced the necessity of our personal struggles through Amor Fati, affirming that our challenges are the very material from which our resilience is forged. We learned the liberating power of conscious interpretation, understanding that perspectivism grants us dominion over our perception of reality. We envisioned the ideal of psychological integration through the concept of the Bermensch, learning to bridge our primal depths with our aspirational heights. And finally, we confronted the imperative of ethical autonomy, the revaluation of values, empowering ourselves to become the architects of our own moral compass. Think of yourself as a sculptor, as Nietzsche might suggest. The unhewn stone before you is your existence, your potential, your very being. The shadow we have explored is this raw, unshaped material, the instincts, the contradictions, the raw experiences that lie within. It is not something to be feared or discarded, but the very substance from which your unshakable strength will be revealed. Your will to power, your Amor Fati, your perspectivism, your drive for integration, and your revalued ethics are the tools you wield, the chisel and hammer that chip away at the superfluous, the extraneous, the imposed, to reveal the true, powerful form that lies within. This path of self-mastery is not a destination, but a continuous act of becoming. These laws are not static rules to be memorized, but dynamic practices that demand ongoing engagement. Self-overcoming is not a singular event, but a perpetual orientation of the soul. It is through this continuous critical engagement with ourselves and the world, through the persistent application of these principles, that we can truly overcome the internal fragmentation that plagues so many and guard ourselves against the insidious currents of external manipulation. The journey through Nietzsche's shadow is not for the faint of heart. It demands courage, introspection, and a profound willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. But for those who dare to embark upon it, for those who seek not the ephemeral validation of the crowd, but the enduring sovereignty of their own being, the rewards are immeasurable. You will discover authentic power, radical independence, and the profound, unshakable satisfaction of becoming the conscious architect of your own unshakable inner strength. The power to shape your destiny, to live a life of profound meaning, resides not in external forces, but within you. The question that remains is, will you pick up the sculptor's tools